What's going on, guys? It's Clint with Prestige Aquatics, back with yet another awesome fish video. Today we're doing a full fish room tour of our fish room. It's October 2021. Got a lot of cool things going on in the fish room. Can't wait to show you all of them. Let's get right into it. That might be a little ambitious when I say all, because we have over 250 aquariums in this fish room. It'd be impossible to show them all on this short YouTube video. However, we'll pick some of the highlights and some of my favorites, and we'll take a deep dive and a good look into them. Before we get into any of the tanks, let's take a brief overview of the fish room, starting with this section, which we call the dojo. We just call it the dojo because we spend a lot of time in here. We get a lot of work done. It's got 120 10-gallon aquariums, as well as our biggest aquarium in the fish room, our 600-gallon acrylic aquarium. Moving on from the dojo, we have our section of 20-gallon longs. We have 56 20-gallon longs in this section. I find myself looking at tanks in this section more than anywhere else in the fish room, just because of the awesome variety of fish that we have here. Looking from the other direction, we have a section of the fish room that's not yet complete. This section will be completely dedicated to 10-gallon aquariums. Right now is mostly housing small South American cichlids and Neocaridina shrimps. Looking to the other side of the fish room, we have our 40-gallon breeders rack, a few 300 and 150-gallon stock tanks, 4 community aquariums, our workbench, and a never-before-seen fry racking system. Our view from the far side of the fish room looking toward the main section of the fish room looks like this. We're super pleased with how it looks, with more expansion and renovations coming in the near future. What better place to start the tour than our 600-gallon acrylic aquarium. This tank is 8 feet long, 4 feet deep, and 30 inches tall. It's filtered with a 40-gallon sump and an overflow system. This tank houses all wild-caught angelfish, as well as an electric blue acara and a couple miscellaneous plecos. I really enjoy having this tank here at the fish room. It used to be in my basement for about 3 years, but I enjoy it much more over here at the fish room. This is probably our rarest fish in the fish room right now. This is a Hypostomus luteus phase 1. I'd say he's about 4 inches long right now. Apparently they'll reach about 1.5 feet, and they'll change color phases as they grow out. So right now he's phase 1, but he'll become phase 2, which is a more gold coloration, and then phase 3, which is a full gold coloration. Retail on this fish right now is around $1,000, so needless to say, we take really good care of him. Next, we'll move on to our wet pet. This is Daenerys, formerly known as Brutus. We've found out that Daenerys is a female here recently, so she's been renamed. This is a wild-caught Kelberi peacock bass straight from the Amazon River. We love this fish and love its personality, an absolute ravenous savage. If I put my hand up here at the top of the tank, you can see that she is well trained to food. Right above Daenerys, we have one of our favorite aquariums. This is a 125-gallon native fish tank. All of these fish were collected within a mile of the fish room. We have green sunfish, creek chubs, bluegill, as well as some other various minnows. Some of our rarest fish in the fish room are these Distichotis tugelsii. These are some fish that we actually bought at the ACA at auction, and we've been super happy with these fish. Not a lot of information on the internet about these fish. We've really been observing and trying to figure out how exactly to breed these guys, what kind of breeding activities they have, water parameters and such. They're from the deep Congo River Basin, so there's not been a lot of collecting of these fish, but just so far has been a really interesting, great fish for us. If you know anything about these fish, please leave a comment down below. We'd love to learn more about these. Right when you walk into the fish room, you see this awesome 75-gallon community aquarium of Neolamprologus multifasciatus. This is a really fun tank to just sit down and watch individual and group behaviors. Really enjoy this tank. As we get a closer look, you can really tell how many are actually in this tank. Probably have well over 250 fish in this aquarium. We've even thinned out the herd recently, but it's still just super thick. Right below them, we have a nice little community aquarium with some rainbow fish, some tetras, and a few Apistogramma and other small cichlids. We have some Millennium Rainbow fish in here, some black phantom tetras, some black neons, emperors, have an Apistogramma trifasciata hanging out in the back, as well as some Araguaia acaras, which we're breeding in some other sections of the fish room. I would be remiss if I didn't show you all the #1 reason for our success in the fish room. This is our Orbit Beehive lawn irrigation controller. It controls all the automatic water changes in our fish room. Our fish room is fully automated with automatic water changes. There's actually one running right now, which is telling me that our program D zone 11 is running and it's got 3 minutes left. As you can see, water is flowing into the tanks through these taps, and it is overflowing out the back of the aquariums through our overflow system. All of this is controlled by these lawn irrigation units. Basically, these are solenoid valves, and we plumb all the water to the aquariums. If you're interested in learning more about this system, we have an automatic water change video in the works. It'll be coming soon. Be sure you like this video and subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss it. Furthermore, a large part of our business is dedicated to performing contracting services where we will actually come out and build a system like this for aquarists just like you. If you're interested, please reach out via our website or our Facebook or Instagram pages. This is our L333 King Tiger plecos tank. We just recently acquired 6 baby King Tiger plecos. As you can tell, they don't have their adult coloration yet, but they are super nice already. Really excited about raising these out, and hopefully we'll get a great breeding group. In this aquarium, we have a really nice group of lemon bristlenose plecos. You can just tell how yellow these fish are on camera, and we have about 13 of them in here. Really looking forward to getting these guys breeding and getting some of their offspring to you all. These were actually sourced from the Czech Republic, and so far we've been incredibly pleased with this breeder. In the same breeder, we have these super red longfin bristlenose plecos, and even though they're not adults, they still have great coloration, as you can tell with that one on the wall right now. Great fins, great colors, have nothing but good things to say about these Czech plecos. Staying with the plecos right now, we have another group of just regular super red bristlenose. We actually have 2 groups of these. Really pleased with these. As you can tell, they're super red. He's redder than that terracotta pot. Hopefully we'll get these guys breeding soon. Really looking forward to having some babies. In this tank, we have a new breeding group of L134 leopard frog plecos. We just got these fish maybe about 2 weeks ago, so they're still settling in, but I always love to see a male sitting backwards in a cave like this one. That's a really welcome sight. They still have a little growing out to do, but was very pleased with the size of these fish at purchase. One of our prized possessions in the fish room right now is our wet pet Ragnar. He is a grass pickerel that was actually collected here within a half-mile of the fish room. This is a very rare fish for Western Kentucky and has been a joy to keep in our fish room. He's definitely feed trained, as you see him follow the camera around. If I put my hand above the tank, he's gonna go toward it in an instant. This is our brand new fry racking system. This was just completed yesterday and will hold 36 breeder boxes and 12 2.5 gallon tanks. It's ran by a 40 gallon and 20 gallon sump and is already hooked into our automatic water change system. If you're interested in how we built this and why, go ahead and subscribe to our channel because we have a new video in the pipeline on exactly how this system works and how you can build one for yourself. Next, we have a pair of blue cobalt angelfish. This is a great pair for us and breed readily. The male's on the left, the female's on the right. The male was injured here recently and is just now recovering from his wounds. He tried to stick himself through that hole in the back of that decoration. Needless to say, he hasn't done that again. Here we have 2 female cobalt blue angelfish. We're keeping these on standby in case something happens to our female on the last tank we showed. Here we have our pair of platinum angelfish, and these guys are absolutely massive. They've had a couple spawns here lately that have been on the glass. It's really hard to retrieve the eggs like that. We're trying to promote them to spawn on this fresh, clean spawning cone, and it looks like they've been picking it off. I'd say in the next couple days, we'll have a nice spawn out of these guys. In this tank, we have a grow out group of smoky green avatar turkey angels. It's been a really great angelfish for us. We bought them smaller than dime size, and now they're well over a quarter. Looking forward to getting some pairs of these and getting them breeding. We're keeping so many different types of apistogrammas right now that if I tried to show every tank to you, the video would get extremely long. So I'm just gonna do a quick overview of most of our apistos, and I'll give you a good look inside some of our favorite tanks. Here we have some of my favorite apistogrammas in the fish room. These are double red Agassizii apistogramma, and you can tell this male just has some beautiful colors on him. Been trying hard to get these to breed. They haven't bred for us yet, but they're very familiar with each other. We're expecting a spawn anytime now. One of our favorite apistogramma pairs has been this Apistogramma McMasteri. These have been very hard for us to breed, but we're remaining patient. Hopefully we'll get them to breed. We actually have another pair of them going as well. It seems like they're always showing breeding behaviors, kind of like you're seeing right now, but they just can't seem to get a successful spawn down. Hopefully we'll get them to spawn in the next few weeks. Some other apistogrammas we've really enjoyed keeping are these Ortegas. See, the female is here in the front. She's looking a little better than the male in the back. He's a little beat up from their last spawn attempt. I've really enjoyed keeping these, and we have a ton of babies down below, which I'll show you now. In this aquarium, we probably have about 30 or 40 of the Ortega juveniles. They're acting a little bit shy right now because we actually just moved about half of them into this aquarium and combined a couple groups. This has been a really rewarding fish to grow out. They've grown pretty slow, but now that we have a colony, it's just been really fun to watch them interact and grow together. One of my favorite species of apistogramma are these orange flash Apistogramma Cockatoides. And this is probably the third or fourth pair I've had of these from different genetics. We recently got them to spawn. There are some babies swimming around in the tank. Always have loved the cockatoo apistos. I've moved more to wild type apistos lately, but this one will always have a special place in my heart. Here we have a breeding group of double red cockatoo apistogrammas, and you can see that the female is sitting on a spawn of fry. These are probably about 5 days old now. They're just starting to get out on their own a little bit. Looking forward to raising these guys out. Guys, if you're liking this video, go ahead and hit the like button and please subscribe to our channel. We've got some awesome content coming down the pipeline you're not going to want to miss. Stay tuned. We've kept many breeding groups of triple red cockatoo apistogrammas over the years, and these are some of the juveniles we have growing out. Looking forward to these coloring up and getting these onto you. Here we have another awesome group of apistos. These are Apistogramma Panduro. This is the first time I've kept this kind of apistogramma, and they have some awesome colors with some sexual dimorphism. You can see the female right here has a nice black spot under her belly, and then the males have a nice blue color down their back. Bought 6 juvies. It turns out we have 3 females and 3 males, so looking forward to breeding these guys and getting some of these to you. In this first tank, we have some of our wet pets. As you can see, our Pacu right there. His name is Edward. He's probably about 16, 18 inches right now. He really enjoys it in here, and he'll actually let you pet him if you reach up. We have a Bicolor in here, an ornate Bicolor. You can see his tail right there, as well as a massive pleco whose nose you can see under that decoration, and a red devil. Our red devil is named Grim. He's a very, very mild red devil. He's probably about 14 inches long, and he really gets along well with our Pacu, Edward. In this duckweed mess, we have our Mutt Guppy pond. This is a 300-gallon stock tank dedicated to Mutt Guppies. We have a ton of guppies we move on from in the fish room, and they all go right here. If I start to remove some of the duckweed, you can see all the guppies that start coming to the top. They're very well trained for food and have a great life in here. Lastly, we have a 150-gallon stock tank. This stock tank has 300 juvenile electric blue Acaras in it. We bought these wholesale from a friend named Ryan. Thank you, Ryan, for the sale of the Acaras. And we're raising them out. If you're interested in buying some of these Acaras wholesale, or you just like maybe 1 or 2 or even 6 or 10, please reach out via our website. On this wall, we have a couple African cichlid tanks. This is our 90-gallon male peacock tank. This tank is really not big enough for these fish, and we're planning to move them on to 125 gallons soon. Also, the scaping has just gone completely downhill, but we're not worried about it right now. It's a very functional tank for us. Our other African cichlid tank is a tank of Haplochromis types. These fish I can't even pronounce the scientific names of, but I will post them on this video so that you can reference. We got these fish at the ACA at auction and we're growing them out. They're just kind of an experiment for us at this point. We recently acquired 3 alien betta pairs, and I just took their barrier out from between them, so you can tell that this pair is fired up right now. We're going to attempt to breed these soon. We've been waiting to get them fattened up and primed for breeding. This is our blue alien betta. The male is on the left and the female is on the right. Next to them, we have a pair of green alien bettas, which of course are hiding right now. There's the male coming back toward the front now. And we have metallic alien bettas right above them, with the male on the left and the female on the right. So you can see they're fired up and ready to go as well. So this is my first time keeping rice fish, but these are gold Medaka rice fish. So far, I have really enjoyed these. They've got a great personality. I figured they were just kind of like minnows, but no, they're very interactive. They're very personable, have been breeding for us. We've got some fry. Just has been a really fun experiment. I think we'll get more rice fish here in the future. Next, we're gonna look at all the tetras we currently have in stock. We have some red and blue Colombian tetras on the right and some silver tip tetras on the left. Both of these are some of my favorite tetras we've ever kept here. Moving on, we have some more red and blue Colombian tetras, which is just such a nice fish. Just look how big bodied they are and active. Really great fish. We have a few cardinals in here hiding and some neons next to them. These don't fare too well when you try to ship them, so we usually just sell these at fish swaps. After that, we have some blue tetras. These are really cool tetras. They're not showing the best blue right now, but sometimes they get fired up and show some really deep blues. Next, we have a group of black skirt tetras. These are some of the coolest tetras we have in the fish room. I really love the 2 black bars that go down their back. Next, we'll group these with the tetras, but these are black ruby barbs, and they're quite small still, but when they grow up, they start to look more like that big one there and have more of a red sheen to them. Have them next to some checkerboard barbs, which are some of my favorite barbs. They're also small and will show better color once they get a little older. We then have some Surpe Tetras, which are some of my favorite tetras of all time. Just look how red these guys are. They're just an amazing fish. I love the red, especially with the males and their black fins. Lastly, we have some neon Rosy barbs. These are an awesome variant of the Rosy barb. I just love how red the males get, and they're not even fully colored because they're not full grown yet. Can't wait to see what they look like when they get a little older. Here we have a Millennium Rainbow breeding group. This is a great group for us. They constantly spawn in this breeding mop, as you can see them hanging out by it right now. This male is just an absolute stud. And you can see we have a mop of theirs in the breeding box next to it, which houses a ton of fry right now. Prestige Aquatics is known in the fish industry as a supplier of great, high-quality fancy guppies. Our guppy selection is a little bit thin right now, but we still have almost 80 tanks dedicated to fancy guppies. It would be impossible to show them all, but let's look at some of my favorites. Definitely our most popular strain of guppy or endler has been these Japan blue-red double sword endlers. We've really enjoyed keeping these. We probably had these in the fish room for about 2 years now, with about 5 tanks dedicated to them at this moment. They've been our best seller online and at swaps for guppies and endlers historically, and we're looking forward to getting more of these out to the public. I've always loved these full red guppies. I've never been a fan of albino guppies, and so when I saw these full reds and they're not albino, I immediately fell in love. We have about 4 groups of these in the fish room. They've been one of our most popular groups of guppies. Really looking forward to continuing on and selectively breeding this strain. One of my favorite strains of guppy historically has been the blue-green Bicolor guppy. We have a ton of these growing out. This is the dad of all of these fish, and he is absolutely amazing. Hopefully we'll get some males looking like him, and we'll continue to get great genetics out of this line. Similar to the Japan blue-red double sword endlers are these Japan blue double swords. Instead of a red on their back, they have more of a yellow color. These are really nice. They have a little slimmer profile, but still a nice fish nonetheless. Probably my favorite group of endlers at the moment is this group of French blue star endlers. As you can see, these guys are little ravenous savages. I love the colors on the males, the orange and blue down their backs, and I love that the females get large enough to where they're not bothered too much by the males. One of our favorite strains of guppy is the black Moscow guppy. These are a very popular guppy in the hobby, and we worked really hard to get ours to this quality. We really think the males are great, and the females have big, long, flowing fins and great bodies. In this tank we have some American green guppies. These are some of our favorite guppies in the fish room. We have about 3 males and 5 females in here. Looking forward to getting these spawning and getting them to you. We're keeping several different strains of Neocaridinas in the fish room right now. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of our favorites. Our favorite shrimp colony in the whole fish room is this group of painted fire red Neocaridinas. These shrimps are like fire engine red. All the moss is floating right now, and you can see under the moss that there are just thousands of shrimp in this little 10-gallon tank. These are by far our best sellers and our favorite shrimp to just sit down and watch. In this tank we're keeping orange Sakura Neocaridina shrimps. These are some of the nicest shrimps I've ever seen. You can see there's a million babies jumping around. We've really only had these for about a month, and you can see they've already given us a ton of shrimplets. Looking forward to getting a great colony of these. We recently sourced these blue diamond Neocaridinas from the same place we sourced the orange Sakuras, and needless to say, they are in impeccable condition. They almost look black. In the right light, you can really tell they're blue, but these are some great shrimps for us. You can see that they produce readily, and we've got shrimplets all over this tank. In this tank, we have some golden-back yellow Neocaridinas. These haven't reproduced as fast as the other strains that we just recently acquired, but we still do have a pretty nice colony of about 15 in here. Looking forward to getting some shrimplets soon. In this tank, we have an older colony of Blue Dream Neocaridinas. We recently just thinned it out a little bit, but we've been keeping this same colony for over a year now. There you have it, guys. That is our fish room tour for October 2021. If you made it all the way to the end, like the video, subscribe to our channel. Can't wait to see you in the next video.